guys, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I paint furniture. In today's video, I'm going to bring you guys along as I take this terrible latex painted peeling dresser that I found at the side of the road and turn it into this beautiful dresser that I think has like a West Elm CB2 Anthropologie kind of vibe. I'm really loving it. All right, let's go take it from the top. Like I already mentioned, this dresser was out at the curb. Someone had tossed it out and it was waiting for the garbage truck. I'm glad I scooped it up. It was a whole lot of work to get this awful latex paint job off of this piece, but I'm so glad that I took the time to do it. So listen, I am not here to tell anybody what they can and can't do with their furniture. You can use whatever you want to create a piece. I'm just here to show you guys how I do what I do. And this peeling latex paint is a big reason why I don't use latex on my furniture. Usually I start off all of my flips by cleaning the piece really well, but I need to use some heavy duty chemical strippers to get this latex paint job off of the piece. So I'm not gonna clean it. I'm going to remove the hardware and get to that stripping. Also, look at this hardware. I'm definitely gonna be keeping and reusing this. I do not have a favorite stripper. In fact, I hate all of them. Everyone I've ever tried has not worked really well. This just happens to be the stuff that I've got in the garage, so it's what I'm going to use on this project. Make sure that you're careful with this stuff and wearing appropriate personal protective equipment. Also, make sure that you're following all of the directions. The stripper I'm using needs to be brushed on in a thick layer and left sitting for 15 minutes. And then hopefully I can come back and easily scrape off the paint. Here we go again. Another stripper that kinda, sorta, almost works, but not really well. I spent about 40 minutes altogether scraping and stripping this goopy, plasticky latex wall paint off of this poor dresser. And to get down into those detailed areas on the top drawer, I took a wire brush and started scraping all that gunk out of those grooves. Oh boy, I've made quite the mess. Now it is time to rub everything down with some mineral spirits and steel wool to stop the stripper reaction and get ready to move on to the next step. After you remove any residual residue from the chemical stripper, you want to let your piece dry really well And then I went back in with some coarse grit sandpaper and smoothed everything out. Unfortunately, I still had a lot of built up junk in this recessed design on the top drawer, so I sat down on the garage floor with a small flathead screwdriver and really got in there to remove all of the gunk and junk and make sure I had a nice smooth finish. It's prime time. One of the reasons that I think the previous paint finish failed, even though it was primed, was because it wasn't cleaned and sanded properly. I'm also going to be using a primer before my paint. This bin primer blocks stains really well and is rated to stick to pretty much anything. Because this stuff is so sticky, I like to line my paint tray with a little bit of aluminum foil and use a disposable roller. That way, when I'm done, I can just toss everything and I don't have to worry about trying to clean it up. The entire dresser got 2 good coats of this shellacked base primer and I let it all dry overnight. The next morning I removed the legs. I'm going to be painting them in a different finish than the body of the dresser, and I also took this time to really thoroughly clean out the inside of the dresser as well as all of the drawers with a good degreasing cleaner. And before I come in here with any paint, I sanded all of the primed areas with a super fine sandpaper just to knock back any texture that was left behind by my roller. I wanted to use Country Chic Paint in the color Pop the Bubbly on this dresser, and I probably had enough paint left in this quart, but I didn't want to risk running out. So I went ahead and topped it up with some Country Chic Paint in Simplicity. It's their brightest white. Gave everything a really good mix. Now I have a slightly lighter version of Pop the Bubbly to put on this dresser. As always, I used my gravity-fed HVLP pneumatic spray gun to apply 3 thin coats of my custom color to the entire dresser. I will leave a detailed list of all of the products used in this transformation down in the description box of this video. And while the paint on the body of the dresser is drying, I went ahead and prepped these legs. I gave them a good wipe down and then a quick scuff sanding with a coarse grit sandpaper. Then I stuck them in this cardboard box so that it could hold them while I painted. I really want to try and match the legs to the hardware that came on this piece, so I'm going to start off with some of this Rustoleum antique brass. This color on its own was looking a little flat, so I came in with some Rustoleum metallic gold as well as some Tremclad black and just lightly dusted all of the legs sort of randomly until I got an effect that mimicked the same finish of the hardware. A few hours later, once everything was nice and dry, I came back and sprayed 2 coats of Country Chic's protective clear coat. This will protect my new finish against any stains, nicks, or dings, and also make the dresser nice and wipeable for its new owners. Now all that's left to do is put everything back together and take our glamour shots.
I was at the wrong place at the right time, 'cause suddenly there you were with those bright blue eyes. We were conversing under the night sky when you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna laugh out loud.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me again today as I do what I do. Please remember to leave me a thumbs up, a comment down below, and subscribe before you go. I've got another dresser that I need to get to out in the garage. I'll catch you guys next time.
Talked about everything that was